What are you going to do with $75 million?
A small, nimble junior like Valiant. This is a real opportunity to generate some good cash flow going forwards and become, the masters of our own destiny. Very exciting times. 27th of March, we listed after a very successful capital raise. So we raised $75 million.
Amazing.
Before costs, which was amazing to get it away in the middle of this market. Westgold shut these assets down at the back end of COVID, so statutory coverage was an issue. Effectively, they made the decision to shut Comet and South Emu-Triton. And then about 6 months later, they shut down Paddy's Flat. The person who sells the ore thinks there's more gold in it. The person who buys the ore thinks there's less gold in it coming out of the back of the truth machine. We're looking at, with the dewatering process there of Comet being back in a mining position under 12 months. A really unique opportunity for Valiant to be a near-term producer. We're probably slightly different to the other juniors that are there. Can we actually unlock this with a drill bit? Whereas for myself, as a mining engineer, this is a real opportunity to come back, put these back into production. Literally a phone call from Wayne. It was really a unique phone call to be receiving from someone that you admire and respect in the gold industry.
Welcome back to another episode on the Gold Room Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today I've got the Managing Director and CEO of Valiant Gold, Brendan Tritton. Thanks for joining me, mate.
Thanks, Josh. It's great to be back on the Gold Room.
Yeah, bloody oh. So we had you here last year, Gold Mining Solutions. You had some big bloody goals and aspirations for that company back then. I think you said, from memory, you wanted to get the staffing levels up to 50. What did you end up with before you left?
Yeah, so when we had that first chat back then, we were sitting at a staff level of 26. Managed to get it up to 41 before I left. So it was
well done.
We're on track, but
big things back then with gold, and even bigger things with Valiant. The great thing about this episode is, if anyone does want to know about the life and the times, the great times of Brendan Tritton, go back and watch the other episode. We will actually throw that down below.
Perfect.
Mate, let's get into it. So big things. I saw some pretty cool video of you and Bramwell ringing that bell there. Brand new IPO for Valiant Gold.
Yep.
ASX ticker.
Yeah, ASX ticker. VAL.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very exciting times. 27th of March, we listed after a very successful capital raise there. So we raised $75 million.
Amazing.
Before costs, which was amazing to get it away in the middle of this market at the moment.
Yeah. Mate, what are you going to do with $75 million?
So effectively looking at, these are the assets that demerged from Westgold. So it's the Comet and Reedy project in the Central Murchison.
Murchison Hub.
Yeah.
I've been reading.
Yeah, you've been reading through, looking at the Westgold paraphernalia.
Yep.
So yeah, effectively looking at restarting these operations that are there. So they've got a modest resource base at the moment of 1.2 million ounces. The key pathway for us is, if you look at the use of proceeds, it's effectively broken into thirds. So we've got a third towards resource definition and exploration, a third towards the restart of Comet South Triton, and then a third towards working capital.
What did you think when you looked at those resources and you saw your own last name sitting there?
Oh, look, it was a bit of a unique situation where you see Triton there and
dropped a T.
Dropped a T. I think it would be the getting up there with my finger in the dust.
It's not hard on these dirty bloody joints, is it?
Exactly. There's always dust on a sign that's there, so trying to change the name.
Yeah,
part of the fun.
Awesome.
But no, it's a unique opportunity. You come into this where Westgold shut these assets down at the back end of COVID.
Why?
Effectively running out of people that was there. So statutory coverage was an issue. It was also Westgold was going through a bit of a tumultuous time. So they had 7 underground mines at the time. They'd made a record gold production, but also a record cash loss. It was also the change of management at the time.
Is that when Wayne came in?
That's when Wayne came in. Effectively, they made the decision to shut Comet and South Emu-Triton. So Comet was shut in the space of a week, South Emu-Triton in the space of a month. And then about 6 months later, they shut down Paddy's Flat. But effectively, they had a mine plan that was there. They were in operation. They could basically push through and execute on that. And by not having the people, they couldn't really manage that system going forwards.
Yeah, Wayne was saying that they want to concentrate on larger ore resources for Westgold itself.
Yeah, that's correct. So these are marginal producers. So they're the 20 to 30,000 tonnes. Obviously, that's not guidance. It's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the past, they produced between 20 and 30,000 tonnes per month each. So they're not huge operations by any means, but for a small, nimble junior like Valiant, this is a real opportunity to generate some good cash flow going forwards and become the masters of our own destiny going forwards.
Yeah, beautiful. These historical underground operations.
Yep.
what are some of the risks associated with taking a company or taking sites from care and maintenance to through to production?
Yeah, so there's a number of risks that come behind that. So looking across like the Reedy package, it's there. There's 18 legacy open pits, 4 underground mines. So these are quite sizable packages. They've produced over 1 million ounces in the past, which is they're known producers. And it's over a history of approximately 100 years. So it's they've had multiple changes of their hands, multiple mining campaigns throughout time. Some of the risks that kind of come back into it, the normal ones around geotechnical risks. Obviously, these have been placed in WA's care and maintenance system that's there. So effectively, everything infrastructure-wise removed from it, then allowed to flood to the portal. So there's the normal re-entry that goes behind that. So reassessing the ground support.
How deep is it?
So Comet is about 200, 250 metres below surface.
Okay.
South Emu-Triton, the old timers back in the 1930s and 1940s had that down to 550 metres.
Imagine that, man.
Westgold had it down to about 300, 350 below surface. So there's a real opportunity there to look at these resources at depth.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a lot of bloody dewatering to go on.
Yeah, there's a bit, but it's one of those ones we see this happen across the industry. It's not an unknown thing to be done.
No, for sure.
It's just the size of the pump that you put into it, depending on how much time.
Mate, you've got an ore purchase agreement with Westgold.
Yep.
For probably lots of our viewers, what's the difference between an ore purchase agreement and toll treating?
Yeah, so with an ore purchase agreement, we're effectively selling an ore product versus getting the gold bar at the back end of it. So the typical thing where you see issues arising with a toll treatment agreement is that the person who sells the ore thinks there's more gold in it. The person who buys the ore thinks there's less gold in it coming out of the back of the truth machine, which is the lab. And the processing plant.
Yep.
So with
the truth machine is that Brink's turning up to pick up that gold bar at the end of it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you don't know how much gold you lost in circuit. You don't know how much you've reconciled. It's a very much a process that's there that you are open to, I guess, potential issues that can arise from it. Whereas with an ore purchase agreement, we effectively sell a gold product that we deliver to Westgold. Westgold effectively we'll crush that, screen it down, we'll then belt sample across that process. It's a very similar agreement than what they've got with other parties within the Murchison, having delivered over 30 plus parcels that are there with no issues arising from it. So you've got a guaranteed amount of tonnes and a guaranteed amount of grade that comes into it. Westgold doesn't actually have to process that before we get paid, versus where the toll treatment agreement, it can sit on the ROM for months before they actually process it, until you get a milling slot to push that through.
Yeah, I mean, because a toll treating plant is not just get yours ready and process it straight through. Like there's a toll treating plant for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing everyone else's as well.
There's a queue, and you've got to take your time in that.
Certainly now with lack of bloody processing plants and a whole heap of bloody miners around.
Exactly. So you're competing for a time slot that's there where you actually have milling capacity to get this pushed through.
Yeah.
Whereas we can sell the ore product to Westgold at any point, and then Westgold has to pay us once we've got a certified parcel.
Awesome. Benefits of working alongside Westgold as your own entity for sure, but they've got multiple plants. They've got 2 plants, 2 processing plants in the Murchison.
Yeah. So they got their Meekatharra processing hub and the Tuckabianna processing hub to the south.
Yeah. They got Big Bell and Tuckabianna, right?
So Bluebird.
Yeah.
So the Bluebird mill is up towards Meekatharra, and then Tuckabianna mill down towards Kew.
Yeah.
We have access to both, but the typical first pathway here will be going back through the Meekatharra processing hub.
That's a little bit further from these sites?
It's about 90 kilometres away from Comet, which is towards the south in Kew. The difference, though, is that's a much larger mill with lower processing costs, which means that we have a benefit by pushing it through there.
You need to try and limit those costs certainly at the moment with this current fuel issue, possibly not shortage as we were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
Do you think these rising costs with the fuel may hinder what you guys are planning to do in the next 6?
In the next 6 or 12 months, look, we're probably not going to see a major impact towards ourselves. So we're currently drilling at the moment at Triton to extend that resource at depth.
Yep.
The good things about being a diamond drill is that you're not actually using too much diesel. It's there. Dewatering, yes, we'll use diesel for generators that are there. And when we get to actual mining itself, yes, there's an impact that comes behind that. With the processing side of things, though, that's run at Bluebird via the gas pipeline. So we get an opportunity there to minimise the costs around running a certification plant that's there, plus the ores effectively sold Westgold at that point. So we don't have to worry about the processing costs going forwards in terms of rising fuel.
So this certification plant on site with Westgold, who's running that? Is that a Westgold venture or is that a partly Valiant as well?
Look, it's a Westgold venture that's there, but we'll obviously have supervision around the processes there to make sure it's compliant, that we're getting the right tons and grade that comes behind it.
Wayno said that splitting these assets is about unlocking value from non-core assets, right? How are these non-core assets from Westgold? How do they become assets for Valiant?
So you look at these assets as sitting there that were outside of the 3 to 5 year plan for Westgold. So effectively, they've got a large resource base. It's over 15 million ounces. The 1.2 million ounces are sitting there for Valiant weren't getting any value on the Westgold book. By taking them out and putting them in a new shell with the right team and the right people and the right money position behind it, effectively allows us to really focus on these. These are small known producers. We've got a real opportunity to bring these back into production quite quickly. They're proximate to the Westgold processing infrastructure, and it really allows us to unlock some serious value for our shareholders going forwards.
That's what it's all about, mate. We keep talking about this Meekatharra hub.
Yep.
How quickly do you think you can go from drilling to gold bars out the end?
So the key thing here is Westgold walked away from reserves at the time. So Comet, as I said before, was shut in the space of a week, South Emu-Triton in the space of a month. So the process and study that's there, we don't actually need to drill to unlock those two resources that are there. We can go through the process of doing the studies work, inverted commas around the studies work. It's more mine planning, recutting at the current cost price and gold price. Obviously, a significant change between back in 2020 to today's price. So there's a real opportunity there to really show that there's headroom to bring these back online. So we're looking at, with the dewatering process there of Comet being back in a mining position under 12 months.
Okay.
And that's a really unique opportunity for Valiant to be a near-term producer.
And what about contractors? What are you going to be doing about who are you going to use in-house, or are you going to...
Yeah, so look, in terms of our technical team, we'll build that up in-house. And then from a mining contractor, we will basically look at the right size, mining contractor that comes into that. Early conversations have been very positive. There's a lot of interest in this. It's a good news story that's there. Quick pathway to potentially having two small, humble operations going forwards.
Yeah. Will you use a lot of the current Westgold contractors?
Yeah, there is potential there to leverage off the Westgold contractors, which gives us an opportunity to get a better price for some of the agreements that are there. So, for instance, around the trucking from the ore from Comet all the way back up to Bluebird.
Yep.
That's a real opportunity to use the Westgold contractor to do that. Their trucks are going past there anyway to get to from as you mentioned before, Big Bell to Tuckabianna.
Yep.
So effectively deviate them from there back up towards Bluebird. And then, if there is, I guess, a pathway there to access better rates that we wouldn't be able to negotiate as a small junior new to the market, it's a real opportunity there to provide a commercial outcome that's better for our shareholders to manage our costs.
Speaking of shareholders, mate, you need a great finance team. You need someone keeping an eye on the books, making sure money's being spent wisely. Who's currently in your team?
Yeah, so at the moment we've got CFO, which is Donna Thornton. She's the ex-CFO from Catalyst.
Okay.
So she went through their amazing growth journey that they've had. So circa 40 cents through to $8.50 a share with that team. So, seeing a lot of value being realised for the shareholders. And
be nice to see in a few years' time, shares in Valiant Gold looking like that.
Oh, I'd love to see it going along that journey. That's I guess the great intent there is to build a sustainable gold producer going forwards, right? This is
for sure
a real opportunity where there's resources sitting there in the Murchison that have no access or pathway to a mill. We have that, which is a unique offering compared to others.
Yeah. What about geology team?
Yeah, so we're currently building our geology team at the moment. So we've got the GM of geology starting later this month. Our exploration manager has effectively hit boots on the ground today out in the field, which is
awesome.
Exciting to see. So we've got a drill program that's happening up at South Emu-Triton at the moment, really looking at extending that resource there at depth, which is the opportunity there to effectively see if we can add ounces into a mine plan for later on in life for this asset. So he's boots on the ground at the moment, which is good to see him get up to speed and take over the drilling.
Yeah, beautiful. Mate, 12 months. What are we looking at?
So 12 months, we're effectively looking at having dewatered and restarted at Comet, looking at extending the resource there at South Emu-Triton, looking at early stage opportunities around Boomerang and the potential opportunity for a cutback there. And then also starting.
So we'll be trucking out by then?
Look, the intent would probably to be building towards trucking out by then. The viewpoint, obviously, is we haven't declared a reserve to the market yet. But
we don't want to be the one to bloody drop that. We'll leave that to the blokes at Money and Mine.
Yeah, no, so we'll go through the due processes there in terms of studies and releasing to the market, the cost and the ounce profile guidance that we're looking towards actually delivering. And that's something that will come out over the next 6 to 12 months.
Okay, beautiful. Mate, final one from me. And I knew this was going to be a short one because we already know who you are. We've already seen you here before. I just wanted to get you in to talk about Valiant Gold now. And obviously, look, get you back in 12 months' time. Hopefully you're not bloody gone somewhere else by then. I can't see it.
No, absolutely no intent. I want to be here. This is a great opportunity to get into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, they've got a great man at the helm. I'm looking forward to seeing the progress. But the final one from me is, what is going to separate, what do you think is going to separate Valiant Gold from the rest of the ASX juniors out there?
So I think the key thing that separates Valiant Gold here is that we've got a real pathway back into production and material scale. So as I said before, we've got our processing solution baked in from day one before we've even listed. We've got over 1 million ounces in resource. And the real opportunity here is to grow those resources at depth. There's a limited amount of drilling at depth. The key focus in the past has effectively been looking for a shallow oxide pit. Now, there's as I said before, 18 legacy open pits there at Reedy that we need to go back through and look at the work to see what is that depth that's there. The last time these had any cutback works or studies work done on that was back at a much lower gold price.
Yep.
So we've got a real opportunity to create some value here to unlock ounces going forwards.
That's amazing. And so you've got a lot of backing from, you've got some great people in your corner, the Westgold corner, your own team.
Yeah, we certainly do. So Westgold effectively has about 44% of our book, which they're in escrow for 2 years. Westgold's been exposed across the whole raising process that's there as well. So it was $20 million towards the Westgold priority offer that was there for their Aussie domiciled retail shareholders.
Yep.
It was the Westgold institutions that we approached to back us.
Argonaut.
So Argonaut was effectively managing the IPO process that's there and then working through the list of Westgold's institutional register to come through. So Westgold's been approached. They're effectively across every aspect of the capital that's come into it. So there's a lot of support there to make sure that this story works.
But at the end of the day, mate, it all falls down on you and the team.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, we're probably slightly different to the other juniors that are there. This is not, can we actually unlock this with the drill bit, which I think is a bit of a disconnect that's there. So there's a lot of juniors that come where you've got a geologist or a finance person that's running the team, and you're effectively living cap raise to cap raise and living and dying by the drill bit. Whereas for myself, as a mining engineer, this is a real opportunity to come back, put these back into production. And that's one of the key things that stood out for me. Like I looked at other opportunities to become a CEO or MD of a junior, and this is one that really stood out because you've got legacy reserves. You've got legacy infrastructure that's there. You've got real opportunity there to unlock more ounces quickly, and you can actually get these back into mining. And that's the thing that's really exciting about this is that you can actually see a horizon that's there where you are going to be generating cash flow versus having to go back to the market cap in hand and going, hey, can I please have some more money to do my next program?
How exciting that in the next 12 months, Valiant Gold will be responsible for increasing shareholder value within the company and being able to send off truckloads of ore to Westgold as part of this agreement.
It's extremely exciting to be able to, realise actual value that's there and see the business generating cash flow.
Amazing.
It's an amazing journey to be able to go through something that's, you can see the dirt come out of the ground and go through that in a relatively short space of time without having to go through all the hurdles that come back into establishing a mining front.
Yeah. Mate, actually, I did say final question, but, I do this all the time. tell me about the phone call between, where were you? Do you remember where you were? And what was the process? Who called you up? Was it Wayno's personal assistant, or Wayno himself?
No,
Did you get a phone call? It's just like Wayne Bramwell.
Yeah, so literally a phone call from Wayne, based on a previous discussion that was there. But yeah, conversation with Wayne whilst I was walking back from lunch at the time. Really, it was supposed to be a short and sweet conversation. Ended up probably going for about half an hour. That was there basically talking around the opportunity, what Westgold was potentially looking at doing. Very hypothetical until the non-disclosure agreement was locked away. But, it was really a unique phone call to be receiving from someone that you admire and respect in the gold industry.
Yeah. And so what did he say? Tell me what he said, mate.
He's effectively framed loosely what Westgold was looking at doing in terms of potential for an early restart back into legacy operations that were there. So, brownfields operations, significant resource base, potential to be back into mining relatively quickly. Would you be interested? That's effectively what it came back down to.
How long did you think about it for?
Not very long.
Did you have to take a night? Did you go away for a night, or did you say, shit, yeah, Wayne, I'm keen?
No, I said, look, I'm definitely keen to have a look at this. This is something that I've been looking at for a while. It's one of the reasons why I actually went to gold in the first place, was to get exposure into the junior space with the viewpoint of ending up as a managing director or CEO of a business on the ASX.
Yep.
So this was one that really, really stood out for me, having material scale from day one, plus the backing and support of someone like Westgold makes a big difference.
Mate, do you think that other mining companies, other mid-tier or tier ones, are going to start looking at getting rid of some of their smaller assets into businesses like this?
Yeah, potentially. Look, there's obviously, you look back at other companies. Typically, you see lithium producers will spin out a gold company. It's probably slightly rare to see a gold company spin out another gold company. There's probably not too many of those that are done in the past.
Name one.
Maybe. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't do any research into it, but
haven't done too much research there. Maybe Newmont-Newcrest, but I'd have to fact check that.
For sure.
Obviously, though,
we're not going to fact check you, mate. That's
you
for sure.
You could probably drop that off.
No. But Dad said I had no idea. I when talking with Wayne, I was just like, who else is doing this? And it was the same answer. Like, don't know.
Yeah, it's.
But what a great idea! Great for the industry.
It's great for the industry. It means that we've got a focused team, small assets that are there, a real connection back into it, and really unlocking the value that's there. We're sitting on Westgold's book; they're getting no money for it at all. Westgold gets a retained interest that's there. They're getting ore delivered at no mining cost or risk, to say, to themselves.
Yep.
Which is not sitting in their 3 to 5 year plan. Means that we've got an opportunity to jump back into being a cash flowing business without having to go the CapEx pathway of building our own mill.
Beautiful. Do you think you'll build a mill in the future?
Look,
obviously, everything, it's all dependent.
Yeah, it's all dependent. Obviously, you need to have the right material scale behind that in terms of resource base and what you're actually looking at doing production-wise to justify having a mill. For ourselves, this gives us up to 600,000 tonnes per year capacity, which is a really good starting point. Obviously, the aspirations for the company is to grow beyond that, but how good to get a leg out from the start to get back into production. Bloody oath.
Well, mate, look, thank you very much for coming in and spending the time with me. I sent you a message straight away. Congratulations on the IPO. It's amazing. We had that little personal connection from last year and coming on the show. So I'm bloody proud to get you on so you can start singing the Valiant Gold story. I look forward to watching all the progress.
Thanks, Josh. No, it's great to come back on again. Obviously, a bit of a change since the last 12 months.
Most definitely.
But no, this is an exciting story, and I'm really excited to bring this onto market, which is awesome.
Awesome, mate. Well, we're going to rush the editing. That's why I said we'll keep it around the 20, 25-minute mark, and then we're going to get this one out as soon as possible. It'll be great for you, great for the company.
Fantastic. Thanks, Josh.
Cheers, mate. Not a problem. Thank you very much for tuning into another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Hope you liked this one. Don't forget to comment, and if you have any questions, shoot them through to Brendan. Even though he's busy at the moment, he'd be happy to answer some.